What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist here with the one, the only
Gersh1.
And today we're back at it again to answer more questions from you guys in another spine-tingling, enticing episode of For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put a question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. That is what Kerry Vaught has done. He says, is there anyone out there in the 40K universe hawking a mini of the Golden Throne in some space tourist trap? Does the Ecclesiarchy frown on such things? So basically, false emperors. Do they exist in 40K?
Yeah, a lot of them, actually. And basically, people who claim they're the emperor or are being basically like the emperor speaking to them and they're preaching his word. They're just using it for financial gain, power, that type of thing.
Yeah, just think of it just like nowadays where like everybody says that they can fix your problems or that they are the reincarnation of Allah, Buddha, whatever it may be. The same thing happens with the emperor because of like money, power, prestige that they seek. The biggest person to do this was Goj Van Dyer.
Yep.
He didn't have like a mini golden throne or anything, but he claimed to be the basically new version of the God Emperor.
Yeah. And that led to a whole bunch of stuff. He was basically using the brides of the emperor as his own personal army. And who's going to stop him? I mean, the guy was basically the emperor. If you go against him, he could just snap his finger and you're gone. Yeah,
and because of the autonomy of like the Space Marines, the Imperial Guard, the Imperial Navy, he was able to do that. And then on top of that, like that whole era of just like shenanigans that he was doing was called the Reign of Blood.
Yes.
I don't know if we have a 40 Facts video on it. I think we do. But if you want to learn more about that, I think it might be 40 Facts and Lore on Goj Van Dyer.
I believe so, yeah.
Or just check out the origin of the Sisters of Battle because like you said.
It ties right in.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's crazy to think that even though this was going on, the Space Marines, the Custodes, they did nothing about it.
Nope.
It wasn't until like the very end of this Reign of Blood that the Sisters of Battle were actually fighting against the Space Marines, and they were holding their own.
Yeah.
So that goes to show you that the Sisters, even though they're just basically
women
without the black carapace, they still have power armor, they still have vultures and whatnot. Like they held their own, and they were actually pushing back the Space Marines.
And honestly, they weren't even defeated. It turned out that Alicia Dominica had a conversation with the Emperor, one of the very rare individuals in the history of the Imperium to actually go into the Golden Throne and speak to the Emperor.
Right.
And then she came back and she was like, I think she decapitated Goj Van Dyer.
Because she was like, Van Dyer, we need to talk. And he was like, I don't have time, I'm too busy.
Then, or I can't remember.
One of the two.
And then, like other false emperors or demagogues exist all over the place.
Yeah.
And it's up to the Adeptus. What did we say? Adeptus, not Ministorum. Oh, yeah. Adeptus and Ministorum, or the Imperial Creed, to go in there and be like, hey, like you're. Well, they're not going to politely say, hey. They're just going to go and kill you.
Right.
Yeah.
The Inquisition also sometimes takes care of this, depending on how chaotic things get.
Yeah. Usually, like the Ordo, what would that be?
Ordo Hereticus, yes.
Yeah.
So you'll see Grey Knights sometimes going in there, if they've managed to sway the people of a world to pray to a certain god. Korn, Slanesh, Zeech, believing that it's the Emperor. So
yeah. And for the sake of like homebrewing stuff, and because like we usually tend to focus on like homebrewing Space Marine stuff, it would be really cool if you can create a Space Marine chapter that sees a new emperor as like the reincarnated version of the emperor. Because you know how like in China right now, supposedly there is a belief that there is a reincarnation of Jesus Christ in the form of an Asian woman. So I think it would be really cool if you could do like in some weird like civilized world or like a hive world, there is a peasant girl who is seen as the new emperor, and like the Space Marine chapter actually like is devoted to him. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Next question.
This one's by Sir Dusty59. If one of the Primarchs were to be reborn or brought back somehow, which one would you want it to be to come back?
Do you want to go first?
I'm going to say Ferrus Manus. It's very interesting to see how his legion or his chapter would react to his return, especially since he perished so long ago, and the whole mantra of like the flesh is weak and whatnot they kind of took it different than what he was making it to be. And to see him come back, whether it be like in a Primarch body or a Dreadnought body or whatever it is, Legion of the Damned body, it'd be pretty cool to see him.
Yeah. That was going to be mine.
That's what you get for making me go first.
Yeah. But now I'm trying to think, like, who else is dead other than Ferrus Manus? Just the other
Sanguinius, I guess.
Sanguinius is kind of dead.
That was gonna be mine, but I kind of knew you were gonna go for Ferrus, so I'm like, let me take it out of him.
Yeah, I wouldn't want Sanguinius to come back, so Ferrus Manus is the same answer for me. Sanguinius coming back is probably already gonna happen.
Yeah.
Man.
We talk about this one a lot, and I'll say it's a love-hate relationship between Sanguinius coming back, because that downplays his sacrifice and his whole motif of like being buddy-buddy with Horus, being betrayed by your own brother, being struck down by your brother, also not being able to save your legion from like the Red Thirst and making them even more afflicted with the Black Rage. Yeah. But him coming back might be the Sanguinor in a way, or him coming back in any other way. I don't know how it all depends on how they do it canonically through the story.
Right, yeah.
Because it has to be done with a purpose, not just to sell models.
Yeah, like the Primaris.
Yes.
Even though they kind of did a good job of like creating a why.
Yeah.
The Plague Wars, the what was the other one? The Sictus Maledictum, that kind of stuff.
But everybody thought it was just like, oh, they're trying to revamp the Space Marines. What was it? The scale, the model itself, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, true to scale.
Yeah, true to scale. There you go.
Yeah. Next question comes from Brian B. The Sound Alchemist. Did you remember to water the plant behind you?
There's no plant behind me.
No, there's a lot of plants behind you. Actually, you can't really see them.
I have to like move in order for you to see them.
Yeah. There's a lot of plants behind you, and those are all watered. The plants behind me are all dead. And it's a representation of the duality of this channel. Death and life.
It's a cycle.
It is.
We're in a circle.
We're in a cycle of death right now, where the mojo's just not there to create videos.
Yeah, they call it the circle of life. We need to be held up, but first have some splooge on our foreheads.
Right. Yeah. So if you guys can provide the splooge by hitting the like button, sharing with your friends on Facebook or Twitter, the splooge is appreciated. Or just splooge one out for us. I hope you're not doing it now, and if you are. Looks nice.
Hey.
Next question.
This one is by Guild of Noobs, Lord Dubersift. Which race has the cutest babies? Which race has the ugliest babies? Which race has the tastiest babies?
So the cutest babies would probably be Tau. Or, well, I mean, probably humans, because like we're biologically engineered to think babies are like things that you're supposed to take care of.
Things. Yeah. I mean, it's true, because you got to keep the population, the species going.
With their big eyes and their cheeks.
So cutest humans, ugliest nids.
Yeah.
Because they're all like bug larva type thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're not even larvae. They come out as what they're going to be.
Yeah. So I guess like it would be like nothing though. Because like, so in what is it, reclamation pools? I don't know, what are they called? The spore thingies.
Mycetic spores?
Yeah. Isn't that like a thing?
But they just blow up.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Right. It's not like they gestate.
Either way, they're ugly.
They're not bugs in that term.
And then tastiest babies. Not orcs, because orcs are smelly and gross. Eldar, maybe.
Yeah, I could see Eldar being tasty. Especially if you're a chaos demon trying to devour psychically powerful souls.
Oh, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Because like the Eldar are the most psychically powerful individuals of the factions that are playable. So it makes sense that they're delectable. Next question.
This one's by J-Day. What was the latest chapter to be founded, successor or otherwise?
It was the Ultima founding, right?
I believe so.
And that Ultima founding, or it might have been the Indomitus founding. I can't really remember. But they're groups. They're like batches.
Yeah, and there's always constantly new ones coming out because like at any given point there's supposed to be 1,000 chapters, but that changes because obviously chapters die or they get split up if they have too many recruits. Yeah. Or they get inducted into other chapters. So.
Yeah.
It's a little wishy-washy.
Super. And this is the last question by Isaac Hahn. What do you think of my homebrew idea of a non-codex compliant loyalist chapter of Space Marines known as the War Alchemists? The chapter is separated into Gershes, Gersh 1, Gersh 2, etc. Each Gersh is led by an alchemist, and the head of the chapter is titled the Sound Alchemist. Their specialty, for some unknown reason, they are able to wield orc technology and it still functions. And since their home base is in a sector infected with orcs, they often reflect orcs. Like they scream war instead of praising the emperor, and they often raid orc bases to steal their tech. That's actually pretty cool, but you need to include some type of Tau stuff in there.
Yeah. I said I was waiting for that point, but it never got there.
Yeah, so if you could include Tau somehow, then it's on point.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, don't do it.
It's interesting how a lot of people tend to flavor their Space Marine best on certain like themes and like other races and stuff like that. Because we've seen artwork for Tau Space Marines. Yeah. I don't think we've ever seen Orc Space Marines.
No.
Or
no, those are Imperial Guard, the Orc Headhunters.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
So it's pretty interesting to see a whole line up of like Eldar Space Marines, Orc Space Marines, Necron Space Marines. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hopefully it happens.
Yeah.
But thanks for sending those questions our way. If you guys have some improvements on that homebrew chapter, or if you guys have any other questions about anything, comment down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out, and we'll talk tomorrow.
As always, it's the Sound Alchemist,
Gersh 1.
And we are out.
Oh, if you could put my feet